Very good morning again. Hope all of you are doing well. Yet another experience to share with you. I don't know how many times you've experienced this incident where you're going to do some kind of registration, whether it's your property or your car, a vehicle, something where you need to go to a government office and register it as it is required by law. What has been your experience? I'll tell you mine. And this has happened not once but a couple of times. And as recently as last month, where I was supposed to register a lease deed. Now generally what happens is once the lease is done between the landlord and the tenant, some of them want to get it registered. It's good for both sides. It's binding and there is a certain level of commitment that is established. So that being fair, the process where it has to be taken through, and that only happens in the registrar's office. So various documents are required, as whether it's your ID card, your social security card, etc., etc. In India, it's the Aadhaar card. What happens is, laymen, many times, they are absolutely ignorant. They don't know what is required when it comes to documentation from their side, apart from the lease agreement. Now, whoever is interacting with them, whether it's the government official, whether it's a broker, whether it's an agent, call it what you like, they are taking a fee, right? And they've been doing it for God knows how many years. It's their profession. They run those offices. Now they are normally supposed to give you a checklist saying that these are the documents required, these are the bodies required as witnesses. Unfortunately, despite being in this field for so long, they are not proactive. Now what do I mean when I say proactive? It's like when you go to book an airline ticket, the person sitting on the counter will tell you, I require all these documents for me to go ahead and do your booking. Similar thing for a visa. Now you know when you go online and register yourself and you are applying for an e-visa or a hard visa, whether it's Schengen or UK or US, they ask you for so many things and it's very meticulously laid down online. But in this case, it doesn't happen. They will give you in piecemeal, as though they are throwing crumbs of bread to a bird to peck on. And that poor person on the other side who's paying for their services has to go through that turmoil and that stress as to hoping that everything is in order. Because once you get to the government office and there that official says you have to bring XYZ documents, they're not here, and that's it. I mean, you actually feel your heart sink. Why? Because someone called the agent or the broker hasn't proactively told you that these documents are required. Isn't that sad? So the point is, what is the lesson you learn? That when you are dealing with these people and when you are going to go through a contract or you're going to go through some kind of formalization of your documents, you be proactive. Study it on a website if it's available as to what are the things required. What are the documents required? What kind of authenticity and notification that is required, depending on what is the process. Do you require any witnesses? Line up those guys. It saves you a lot of bother and headache. And believe you me when I say this, it's traumatic. It's traumatic. To go through something like this. So keep this in mind. Draw out a checklist, study it, and get your documents and people who are required to be there as witnesses all lined up for a particular date. Make sure your money transactions are done and you have the receipts for everything. It saves you a lot of bother. Think about it and do what makes you comfortable. Cheers.